confession that will surprise exactly no one who's ever listened to me on this show. I have historically treated vacation as a fitness witness protection program. New city, new me, no squats, and nobody from the gym can find me. And the wellness internet has feelings about that. There is an entire content genre engineered to make you believe a week in Portugal is going to undo an entire year of work. Don't fall off. Earn your vacation. Stay shredded on the beach, as if your deltoids are going to file for some sort of separation from you because you had a croissant. Well, today, we're going to find out just about how much of that panic is actually real and what you can do to stay in shape and feel good while you are vacationing. We've got Devon Castro on the show. He's another trainer from Elevate Fitness who has a plan for this and I hope is going to end up being, I'll say it, refreshingly chill. What happens to your body when you take a week off? What's worth doing in a sad hotel gym with a couple of dumbbells and a deflated yoga ball? And is never skip breakfast real science or just something we repeat because our grandmother said it? Srdjan is here to help keep us honest and referee the whole thing, I gather. Let's build a vacation that doesn't require a recovery vacation. Devon Castro, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
So good. So glad you're here. Srdjan, when's the last vacation you took?
Ooh, it's been a while. Starting a business kind of got me really.
Do you remember the last time you
busy,
left?
So
Do you remember the last time you left the state and Washington doesn't count?
it doesn't count. Yeah, I remember for about 10 days.
Okay.
Went to, where did I go? Kansas City?
Oh.
For 10 days.
Sort of depends which side of the river you're on going to Kansas City.
Yeah, but before pandemic, I think that was my bigger vacation when I went back home for about a month.
Okay. All right.
So that was a little bit longer.
All right. That's big. Well, we're going to put you in the I'm going to for a month mindset. And Devon is gonna teach us. Devon's gonna teach us. Okay, who the hell are we kidding? Devon's gonna teach me what I need to do. I'm going to New York in a couple of weeks, and I'm gonna be there for 2 weeks, and I've got to keep my head straight, right? Because I misbehave on vacation. So Devon, let's start here. Here's my first big question. What do you tell a client that you're working with the night before they fly out, right? You're working with them the day before, they're about to fly out, and they're a little bit panicky about leaving, about taking a couple of weeks off. How do you set them straight to begin?
First and foremost, I kind of tell them enjoy yourself, and fitness will always be there, but also kind of have in the back of your head where okay, I need to just kind of do a lot of activities so we could have that whole thing where I don't want them to think that oh, just because they're going on vacation it's they have to stick to fitness, but also at the same time in their own perspective, I want them to do more activities so it kind of helps them burn your fat, more, basically more activities.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So let's talk then about progress, because I know, Srdjan, when we started training, we were talking about how long it takes to actually feel like you have lost progress that you've been making in the gym. If you don't, let's just say you decide to take a much more of a dare I say, relaxing vacation. And you may accidentally let time go by and say you're on an island somewhere. Island time is different time. And you forget to hit the gym or hit the beach or keep your activity up. I know we're going to talk more about that. But what is the difference between feeling like you've lost progress and actually losing progress?
Well, it takes a lot longer, and I think we talked about this at one point, to actually lose the muscle mass that you gained. It takes about at least few weeks and more to lose that muscle mass. You might feel a little bit, weaker, smaller, but it's not really that easy to lose the muscle. You're not going to lose it in 7 days or 10 days vacation when you go. But then also we talked about mature muscle as well, which is a lot harder to lose. The mature muscle you gain after working out for like 3 years at least. That's when you start gaining that mature muscle that's more dense, and it's a lot harder than, for example, the muscle that you gained in the last 6 months. That's the kind of muscle that you're going to start losing after a few weeks. But over that, like the mature muscle stays with you a lot longer because it's more dense, right? But that, again, there's a lot of other things that can affect that. If you're not working out at all, if you're not being active, if you're in a huge calorie, like a deficit, and, you're not focusing on your protein intake and all that stuff. So all that can affect how fast you're going to lose that muscle. So gradually you start losing in small amounts. It's not the huge amounts.
Okay, so it sounds like I don't need to be terrified about losing gains if I'm gone for a couple of weeks, and I may skip a couple of days here and there. It sounds like, okay, can you tell me, so Devon, you also got you're kicking up the running club out of Elevate, right? So you're looking at cardio, and that makes me ask the cardio question. Is there a difference between what the pace that my cardio stamina fades versus my muscle? Like, does one go faster than the other? Should I focus on maybe getting a run in around the lake, or hitting, lifting heavy things?
So I'm gonna say like it's all about balance for especially like a type of dude like me. I've been like, people say like, oh yeah, you've been jacked your whole life. Versus like, it's going to be like a push and pull, because at the end of the day, you can't have both. It's always going to be in that balanced state of mind where you're going to have to like lift weights for your muscle density and your bone density. And then you're going to have to like run or maybe do like a few jogs, probably like walking just for the heart health at the same time. So it's like a push and pull state at that point. So, but you will burn fat, but also if you're doing like more like the cardio side, you will burn the fat, but also you will lose muscle. Vice versa, if you were to do just weightlifting, you're just going to be, you're going to be stronger at that and build more muscle, but also your cardio is not going to be as great. You'll be huffing and puffing. So
yeah,
it's a balance.
Srdjan, what's your experience with cardio loss versus muscle loss? Do you have any experience there?
Well,
I mean, of course you don't, because you're always in peak physical condition.
I always focus on my muscle mass. Cardio, I'm not really great at it, but I think I lose cardio a lot faster than the muscle mass.
Yeah.
But I try to stay on top of it. Like if I go on vacation, if I'm, go to Croatia and then I'll go swim for a while, I mean, it will keep my cardio up there. Your muscle endurance is going to stay there.
Yeah.
Because, it takes a lot of energy, to swim. So swimming is great. So that's how I keep myself in shape and make sure after that, if I eat, I focus on my protein intake, all that stuff. So that way I don't really lose much during the vacation. But yeah, like I said, if you can still go on the hikes and little runs in the mornings and stuff like that on the beach and things like that and still enjoy it. But keep your cardio and the muscle mass, of course, if you do some exercises for it, you don't have to go for an hour, but just 20 minutes, like twice a week, you'll be fine. But I think you do lose cardio a little faster than the muscle mass.
Okay. That's awesome. This is helping me prepare. So I'm going to a place. There is a little gym on the facility, but it's like a travel gym. So I know there's an elliptical for circa 2003. I'm pretty sure there are some dumbbells that stop at like 25. I don't know. There's a TV playing cable news on mute. What do you actually do in there, right? If I have my 20 minutes and almost no equipment, give me a sort of mental model for what I need to think about so I don't feel like I'm losing.
Before doing it, I would say like, you've been training with Srdjan for a long time. I bet he has 3 good movements that you kind of memorize. So I would say focus on the 3 best movements that you know for like dumbbell, and obviously, do your elliptical stuff. But at the same time, like focusing those 3 would definitely like help. Like, all you need is like 20 minutes out of it. And yeah, you're good to go. Honestly, three movements to focus that, and then we're gonna work around it.
So how do you guys handle no equipment? How do you handle your body weight movements? What are your go-to body weight exercises?
My big 3 body weight movements would be, everybody hates it, I do the burpees.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Burpee.
What are you even doing here? It's even in Christmas.
I do the burpees. Do the burpees. I do the wall sits, because like sometimes like, I don't want to squat every single time and then be like, it's going to be a drag and I'm on vacation. Why not wall sit for like a good 2 minutes for a couple sets?
Okay.
And, I'll do walking lunges so that I can just still have like building my legs, because your legs is all about your foundation of your body. And I'll probably just pick one cardio exercise, like a simple one, like leg raises, and hold that position for like a minute or 2. So that's my go-to.
Okay.
So
God, those are the worst, man. God. All right, Srdjan, what are your big 3?
Well, I would like combine, do like a HIIT workout, your own body weight, and I would pick as many exercises as I can, right? And do just that high intensity interval training. And, like you said, you're going to focus on like lunges, squats. Then you can also do plyometrics where you do the jumps, and then you do some push-ups, and, you do some abs. You can do like mountain climbers, all those things that you can kind of combine, and then, do a few rounds. So it will keep your heart rate up, and the muscle is going to be pretty exhausted after a few rounds. So because you're doing body weight, you don't have any dumbbells or anything, any machines. You try to not rest too much for too long, and you can get the workout pretty quick.
It's interesting to hear you both. Like it sounds like, check me if I'm reading a pattern that doesn't exist there, but it sounds like your go-to, just bog standard, is do the things that enable the biggest muscle groups, like the muscle groups with the largest muscles first. Don't focus so much on, oh my God, my traps or bicep. Like, you're not doing individual like isolation movements. You're engaging all the biggest stuff. That's the big bang for your buck kind of thinking. Is that where am
Yes.
I reading that right?
Because you don't have to focus really on the smaller muscle groups that much, and try to isolate them. They're going to work as you're working. Like, when you do push-ups, it's not just going to be your chest. They're going to be working your shoulders are going to kick in, your triceps are going to kick in. So all the other smaller muscles are going to get some work done. So focus on the bigger muscle groups, and the smallers will take care of themselves. Like, you'll hit them. You don't have to necessarily isolate those ones, because you're on vacation. You're not trying to build more muscle. You're not trying to grow. You're just trying to maintain and that muscle mass that you have. So you just want to preserve that muscle mass, and that should be plenty.
So I was reading up, preparing for this conversation, and one of the things that people complained about is that this was on Reddit, right? So what you get what you get on Reddit, but it was like, I look flat after 4 days. That's the big complaint. And I've never experienced that, because I've always looked flat. For most of my life, I haven't had any physique to lose. So, is there any direct, like, what is this flat effect that people are complaining about? Do you know? Do you have a sense of what they might be thinking about?
Honestly, I always think about like flat, like I don't have nothing inside me, you know? Like I don't have a pump. Like, oh man, I don't look hard right now because I don't have a pump going on. I just look like just too relaxed, you know. Some going around like bodybuilders and stuff, they're always wanting to chase the pump. So like the pump is like this crazy thing where, like, for instance, like you're doing bicep curls, you're pumping most like blood into your muscles. So you're actually looking big, but once that pump goes away, you're looking flat.
You're looking flat, yeah.
Yeah,
But this
that's
is
like yeah.
this is the thing. Like, it's like I just want to make sure I say out loud and hear you guys say out loud, that's not a problem when you're on vacation. It's supposed to. You're not isolating muscles. That flat after 4 days thing is not a sign of inherent weakness.
No, I don't ever feel that way. I mean, I tend to actually, it goes opposite for me. I gain weights when I go on vacation. Like, I don't feel flat, and people feel flat because they use the glycogen, water retention, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Inflammation goes away, then
Yeah.
they start feeling flat. But it's like it's not like you lost muscle mass and you like you just feel like you're getting smaller, but it's no big deal.
Well, then let's talk about the big dessert-shaped elephant in the room, because we know that one half of staying on top of your game on vacation is getting your movement in. The other is what you take in and what you eat. So let's talk about it. I mean, I probably have some significant challenges with what I eat right now, and I'm not on vacation. So, what is your advice when you're in an environment where you're intentionally relaxing some of the norms that you might normally have, some of the rules you have? Yeah.
Yeah, so like you're gonna be surrounded with like a lot of good foods, you know, a lot of good foods. But I always kind of like and I'm speaking towards like to everybody, like my clients and everyone who goes on vacation, where like if you're gonna like have a piece of cake, and you're gonna be in a hotel, get your steps in, get your cardio in, even if it's like eat like a piece of cake, kind of like pay it forward. Your daily deposit. I call it the daily deposit. So if you're gonna eat a slice of cake that, it's almost like 2,000 calories, you kind of want to just burn it off by doing like a good 45 to an hour treadmill, Stairmaster, or go out for like a jog or walk, for a long time. I kind of like, you have to play that game. If I'm gonna enjoy myself, I need to pay it forward somehow, in some way. That's the type of like mentality on vacation.
What, Srdjan, what's your pay it forward strategy? I've seen some of the stuff you eat.
I love
a whole chicken plus a vat of Nutella.
No, I'm not on any strict diet or anything. When I go on vacation, I love to eat everything. I love food, so I enjoy food. I'll eat everything that I usually don't eat. So I do enjoy my vacation, but something that's people kind of completely overlook is that what we call NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is all the movement that you do outside of structured workouts, like walking, taking stairs, carrying bags, walking around, exploring the new city, just being more active throughout the day. So that need, what we call, often goes away up without people even realizing. You might not be in the gym, but you're walking like 10 to 20,000 steps a day, climbing stairs, and you're on your feet for hours. So that's a real energy expenditure. So it plays a big role in maintaining both, your weight and overall fitness. So if you're doing all that stuff, yeah, you can actually enjoy some of the food that you eat, right? So I wouldn't be concerned too much about, if you have a dessert or something like that, that you don't always need to do, go to the gym and just do the workout. We always say it's important not just what you do in that 1 hour, like the workout, it's just what you do in that outside the hour for that 23 hours that you have. That's kind of what's important, and people kind of overlook that.
I find I'm accidentally more active, less sedentary than I am when I'm not on vacation, right? Like even when I'm on a vacation that's designed to relax, I'm walking a lot more than I am when I'm sitting at my desk or standing at my desk, right? And so I feel like that's the magical sort of debits and credits of eating and movement, the neat movement, is that I'm sort of unintentionally earning the, whatever it is, the cake, the stand-in for the cake, just by getting out of bed in the morning. I can't remember the last time I took a vacation where I just tried to stay in bed for a week. Like that's what kind of hedonist am I? Yeah. So that is, I think, important. But I also want to reiterate the rules we've talked about on this show before. That you know what exists on vacation? Healthy proteins, right? You eating your proteins. So we'll assume that Srdjan's going to keep eating his chickens. That as you're going to your restaurants, as you're going out, you eat more at the grocery store. Find those proteins that are familiar and delicious, and maybe use a local treatment to them. Maybe it's a pineapple chicken. Maybe it's something you can do to spice it up a little bit and get local flavor. But remember the local proteins. How do you adapt your eating rules when you don't have your kitchen to do your meal prep?
So definitely when I'm on vacation, I like to survey the area, like what you said, look at the local places that like the grocery stores and stuff, and kind of come up with a like, oh, I'm gonna make this, and also like things where you could intake not too heavy, but also like you want to you want to enjoy yourself on lunch and dinners and stuff. But like for instance, like breakfast, like the simple stuff that would like help you suffice that. So going forward, you won't be able to like indulge everything. But like my go-to thing is to look at grocery stores and kind of come up with like a like a healthy type of like uh not dinner, but like snacks and stuff, and things to like help you like whole foods, like to keep you like full and stuff at the same time. So that's my step would be.
I think people forget when they go on vacation that grocery stores exist. Right? If you go on a real like destination vacation, it's like you just think restaurant. But you know what? You could take care of yourself with a trip to a neighborhood grocery store.
Oh yeah.
I always do my research when I get, no matter if I'm staying at the Airbnb or if I stay at the hotel, and kind of look at the restaurants around in that area, like all the breakfast places. And if I'm staying at a hotel, what kind of breakfast they have in the morning, what they have for the breakfast, and where I can go and have a good, breakfast with enough protein and all that stuff. Lunch, dinners, all that stuff. Once you go to the restaurant, I think it's a little bit easier because they all have like either seafood or, steak and things like that. So you're going to get your protein intake from there. But it's hard. I mean, I know I have a couple weaknesses. I mean, when I go to Croatia, there's a spot there I like to go. It's a bakery that's open 24/7. So it's kind of hard to ignore and not walk in. And when everything smells so amazing, and there's so many, all the carbs there and things like that. So kind of hard to stay away from. But yes, I go there, maybe once a day. Like I'm not there all the time. The breakfast lunch. Well, once a day, I have to get my like at least in the morning, because I know I'm gonna burn it out during the day.
Yeah,
and I won't feel so guilty about it. Things like that. So that's kind of where I get my sweets and all that stuff. But yeah, everything else, like I do my research, like you said, I hit the grocery stores and stuff like that, see if I can find some snacks, because usually when I'm on the beach or if I go on a hike and stuff like that, I take my little backpack, so I make sure that I put some healthy snacks in there so I can snack on that and not be starving or hungry.
Okay, we're getting toward the end of our time together, but I do want to talk about, because you bring up this breakfast thing, I want to talk about your guys' strategy around breakfast, because it sounds like, well, at least what I'm hearing is, if you start out with your nice, get some good healthy proteins in to start, you're building a nice foundation for the beginning of your day.
Breakfast strategy. So like, we talked about the grocery. I would definitely eat like things like bread, good source of carbs. Eggs is always going to be easy, so I'm hands down on eggs. So definitely cook some eggs and stuff, and indulge a lot of fruit. Like a lot of people would be like, "Oh yeah, it's very like it's natural sugar," but like I feel like that's the most of it. So like it kind of keeps yourself full at the same time. There you have it, like really simple. Like I don't want to like think about it too much on vacation, because later down the line, like what Srdjan saying, like with the restaurants and stuff, they're always going to have like options. So but like starting with breakfast kind of helps you, so like it gives your body to like have those calories, have those carbs, proteins, and healthy fats, and just kind of like get you through it, so like you don't go crazy. And another thing kind of just popped in my head, people like like they kind of do like intermittent fasting. I have nothing against that whatsoever, but then again, if you've done it wrong, that kind of gives you, in a sense, where like, because you said like on vacation sometimes you wake up at 11, right? And then they start doing the intermittent fasting, because I know most guys on vacation, they do the same thing like that and do the intermittent fasting. But once come like lunch and dinner, they're just indulging everything before they go to bed, and it's just like there's no room to like
Well, and then you're messing up.
going overboard.
Then you're messing up what you probably need more than other times is healthy sleep, right? You're likely getting less of it on vacation, and if you eat a whole bunch before, you're wrecking your sleep. That's not good to stay fit. What is your strategy, both of you, on booze when you travel?
I don't know. I don't really to tell you the truth. I don't really drink much. So if I drink, it's like a 1 or 2 drinks. So it doesn't really affect me. It's usually the food, and like you said, the breakfast. Like for me, and I know for a lot of people, starting the day with a solid, like protein focused meal, it creates a structure. So it helps regulate the hunger. Keeps energy more stable and can prevent that a situation where you go to dinner and starving and then end up overeating without realizing. So I mean, breakfast isn't some like magical metabolic rate, the boost. It's just that it can help people stay more consistent and in control of their intake throughout the day. So at the same time, like some people, like skipping breakfast can work just fine. Some people aren't hungry in the morning, or they prefer eating later in the day, and they still maintain like great results. So the key is that, I mean, what happens over the full day, not just whether you eat in, at 8 a.m. or not.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of people, like, for people that, if someone has a blood sugar issues, like, diabetes or hyperglycemia, like skipping meals, especially breakfast, can make the things worse. So in those cases, like eating earlier is usually important. But you mentioned sleep too, which is, I think it's really important that you get good night's sleep. I think skipping sleep actually makes you overeat, actually. So hunger hormones and
I'm deeply snacky if I'm not rested.
Yeah, I would definitely focus on my sleep. It just I tend to also read, and then people make poor decisions.
Yeah.
When they're not didn't have a good night's sleep.
But for booze in general, I'm not much of a drinker and stuff. Also, but I ask a lot of people like what's not to have when to have booze and stuff involved, and they ask me that question all the time, and you know mostly booze on vacation is always mixed with something like some sort of like juices or something like like your Coke and rum type of
Oh, yeah.
thing, but when I ask a lot of other people, and especially when they're serious about their health and wellness and all about fitness, they usually grab booze on the rocks,
Okay.
straight up on the rocks.
Yeah.
0 calories. They supposedly they say it's 0 calories, and you're not mixing it with any other
Sugar,
thing,
sugar,
but
sugar, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my take on that part. So
We're probably the worst three people to even bring that question up because we don't really drink. So sorry.
Yeah.
oh no, it's okay.
And I don't really have anything to add other than I know that it makes me really snacky, and then I don't sleep well, and then I don't get in any sort of physical activity. Right? I wake up, I don't feel good. I'm working slow. All of these things are connected. It's like we were talking about last week. It's all about the balance. All right. So I'm thinking about the things we've talked about here, right? That you don't need to worry about staying fit on vacation in the progress sense. It's that a week or two off is going to cost you functionally nothing. But taking on some activity while you're there with intention is going to make re-entry easier. It's going to make coming back to the gym easier. So move a little, eat with some anchors, and protect your sleep, and then enjoy your trip. So my closing question to both of you, if someone listening only remembers one thing from this episode, they're getting on the plane tomorrow, standing in the airport at 6 a.m., what's this one thing you want them to think about as an anchor to start their trip well?
For me, I think the sleep is very important. I think when people go on vacation, they're going to move around, they're going to eat, all that stuff. But focus on getting a good night's sleep. I think you're going to make better decisions after a good night's sleep.
Okay.
Definitely.
Sleep is off the board, Devon.
Sleep is off the board. I'm going to say hold yourself to the highest extent to like meaning like hold yourself accountable. Kind of like whenever you kind of like feel yourself like drifting off away from that goal and mindset of like, oh man, I'm gonna lose my progress because of this. But always tell yourself, enjoy yourself, but also hold yourself accountable before making your decision.
All right. The official Build for Health vacation plan. Walk a lot, eat the gelato, sleep like a grown-up, and don't let the internet make you feel like crap about a croissant. Life's too short. Enjoy your trip. Devon Castro, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Welcome officially to the First Timers Club. Glad to have that notch on your belt. We're glad to have you. You are also a trainer at Elevate Fitness, and anybody who's interested, come check out Devon and his work. Let me tell you, there's always something crazy that Devon is doing with the people that he's working with. We're working out, we're doing the work, we look over, and Devon's doing something I've never seen before, and he's just making it work. I don't know what's going on, but if you're looking for a little bit of training wizardry on the mat, check out Elevate Fitness and all the fantastic trainers that are at work over there. You can find us at elevatefitnesspdx.com. Thank you guys so much, Srdjan Injac and Devon Castro. On behalf of both of these guys, I'm Pete Wright, and we'll see you next week right here in the gym.